All right, so let's go into the way of abiding. Of course, this is a 1998 publication, a translation of Longchen Rabjam's composition, The Way of Abiding from the 1300s, and translated by Richard Barron, also known as Chökyi Nyima. And this is, you know, really about awareness. It can be all simplified, this entire equation down to your mind. And your mind has these four great qualities. So every time you're doing the 10-minute sessions, for example, many places from Aryashijongne, Tulku, Oregon, many places recommend that you do short 10-minute sessions. So with the eyes open, you're resting here, not changing your experience, you're abiding, and whatever is feeling heavy, whatever is on you starts to alleviate, starts to come into a spaciousness. So you're practicing ineffability by letting be, the first great Dzogchen Samaya. You're practicing openness by letting be. You're practicing spontaneous presence and this last Samaya of oneness. You see? The O, one, oneness. So the theme of oneness now, okay? That's what we're on. And we're gonna, there's a question here, a little off topic. My friend, welcome. Uh, the question is, how does one become a Lama? By first becoming a practitioner, okay? And there's no skipping ahead. That means lots of sacrifice, lots of practice, uh, lots of emails. No. Yes, you have to grow the beard and get lots of beads and things like that, and order a robe from the internet. The Guru Internet will bestow a robe upon you. You will be a Lama. Yeah, first become a practitioner, get the empowerments, and then get the blessing to be a teacher. You know, some kind of signs at least that this is good for you to share this dharma, and then work on your comedy, you know, your jokes. You have to have good jokes to be a Lama. No, apparently you don't, because there's a lot of. I gotta say, we got the best jokes right now in the whole world. Okay, my friend Esteban, best wishes. Yeah, you can leave that cacophony in the recording if you want to, Yeshi, no problem. So let's just go ahead and get right into it while we still have minutes here. Um, Another implication that can be discerned is that the simultaneous arising and freeing of thoughts constitutes naturally occurring timeless awareness. Now, before I read the root verse, if we're just abiding here and we have a thought like flowers are beautiful, and then I continue talking and I continue reading The Way of Abiding, well, where did that thought go? It came and it went all by itself. And so that's the number 4 practice that we do. Um, and guess what? You can pick any number. You can pick 1,300,452. That's still an awareness just like the number 4. And in this way, that's what Longchen is referring to about that arising and freeing, because the basis is just there. And so the thought has never really not been free. But when we cling to thoughts, when there's grasping, craving, then there's becoming. And so the thoughts become something. Shout out to Patitsamutpada. And so the root verses say here, all thought patterns involving conditioned mind and apparent phenomenon fade away naturally, the realm of emptiness. However the mind stirs, rest gently in utter relaxation. The nature of phenomenon is evident as enlightened intent, in the immediacy of the mind stirring and thoughts proliferating. You see here, so in Longchenpa's great poem, his song poem, his Doha, he's basically saying, you know what, your mind's stirring. He's addressing that. Thoughts are proliferating. And the nature of phenomenon, the nature of that proliferating is what we're interested in and which can bring about liberation. Any questions about that so far? So whether you have a popsicle, whether you have an ice cube, whether you have a glass of water, whether you have a glass of Kool-Aid, orange juice, all those have the nature of wetness. Whether you have a stovetop fire, whether you have a little lighter, whether you're talking about the sun, whether you're talking about the digestive fire, all those have the nature of heat. So whether you're talking about thoughts, whether you're talking about emotions, whether you're talking about the body, whether you're talking about sights and sounds, they all have the nature of awareness. Svabhavana. They all have that cognizant nature. Also showing us, which the Gelugpas have really expounded this and expanded upon it, which also shows that everything has to be consciousness. Otherwise, we couldn't touch the things that we're seeing if they were not also consciousness. So the auto commentary on these particular root verses goes on to say, however the mind stirs, if this is realized to be the display of naturally occurring timeless awareness, like waves on water, just by one's letting go, freedom comes about in the non-duality of mental states of abiding and stirring. Yeah, so kind of a reference to the Mahamudra stillness and movement approach, which is included in Nyima and Chökyi. So the great Garuda states, the implications of whatever manifests being the miraculous display of conditioned conceptual mind can be discerned within the interval between phenomenon and the conceptual process. We just went over that. And so the all-creating monarch, Sarva Dharma, anybody know? Anybody help me out? Sarva Dharma Mahasandhi Bodhicitta Kuloya Raja Tantra. If you tried to type that, you're too slow. You need to pick up your typing. Told you like I was at it. See, you should have hit me with an acronym. Could have cheated. But it's a very beautiful Sarva Dharma Mahasandhi. Also sometimes Mahashanti. It's this great connection with the Dharma, with so-called Hinduism. But then you have bodhicitta, and they're making the connection with Mahayana, not neglecting the bodhisattva aspects. And then Kuliya Raja, indicating the sovereignty of Dzogchen Ati Yoga. The title of the all-creating monarch is truly a teaching in itself. We could have an entire session on the title. So you also see how English is quite reductive. Once we translate the all-creating monarch, the reason why I'm on this one is because, well, according to Namkyn Norbu and Adriano Clemente, these 84 chapters are basically a root of Dzogchen. So the name of the Tantra itself. Lynn says, great password. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be guessing that one. Unless they're really into Dzogchen. And they're really into trying to hack you. And I'm probably the only one who would want to do those two things. No, I'm just kidding. I won't hack you. Put the number 4 in there. Wow, you guys are on fire. Okay, so the all-creating monarch states, within enlightenment, the nature of phenomenon that cannot be cultivated in meditation, there is no duality of meditation and something upon which to meditate. So one meditates by resting naturally without deliberately meditating. There you go, everybody. There are pithy meditation instructions straight from the Kunya Galpo, straight from the Way of Abiding, auto commentary. Within enlightenment. Okay, that means everything here now is perfect. The nature of phenomenon cannot be cultivated. So when you come to Dzogchen, you realize that all this effort-based anecdotal praxis is irrelevant. And that could break your heart a little bit, but it feels so right. Can't be cultivated. There is no duality of meditation and something upon which to meditate. Otherwise, there would be a huge fallacy, a duality fallacy. So one rests, so one meditates, which is great. We have the name meditation online. I'm glad it never got dated or outdated, I should say. So one meditates by resting naturally without deliberately meditating. That is the meditation, non-meditation. So ultimate reality, the meaning underlying everything, is unborn. With the awareness that discursive thoughts and characteristics are likewise not a single conditioned thought process that stirs the mind ever diverges from the context of being unborn. So however thought occurs, if one realizes that this is meditation, there is no distraction, regardless of what transpires, even if one does not try to meditate. Yeah, and Yoshi, you had to bring it up when I'm down there at the bottom a little bit. I had to guess on that last line. I think it's because I have all this Jitsi stuff and my screen isn't entirely big as I'm reading this. No fault of your own, Yeshila. So the six expanses states, and that's a reference to the six sense spheres, or the six senses, six aspects of consciousness. Really, really great that we refer to them as expanses, because when they're contracted, it's a quite confining, isolating place. You know, you're stuck in the thinking, or you're stuck in the hearing. And so there's a difference between being stuck in your disposition and then going and grabbing this mala and I'm purifying my mind into. No, you're creating more karma. But if I'm in a spaciousness and I grab the mala and I'm saying Om Mani Padme Hum Bensa Satahong or something like that, whole different. I'm not in it, in the energy. I'm nowhere. AKA spaciousness, ineffability, spaciousness, oneness, presence, out of order. So, okay. Yeah, that's a new word. So, okay. Trademark. So, in the nature of mind, which entails no focusing of attention, what would cause it to stir manifests as naturally pure? This is revealed by me, Samantabhadra, to be meditative stability as the natural freedom that underlies reification. You see, everybody, I'm not just inventing things, although it seems like it, because it's a new way of putting it. Meditative stability is stabilizing in awareness, in that volumetric space-like awareness. That's shamatha. That's shinei. That's your stabilization technique. Never separated from vipassana, from direct seeing. And so, you know, this is a little bit, good luck trying to find information on Dzogchen shamatha. But here Longchenpa's defining it for us. It's very, very clear. Meditative stability is the natural freedom that underlies reification, which is not focusing on anything. Very good. So thank you, everybody who stayed a little bit later for that text exploration. I do appreciate you so much hanging out during this Dharma time.